Think about the fact that this rainbow spectrum that's been gaining more and more prominence and strength over the last couple of decades, right? That's a fraternity. That's a brotherhood. Even though the various disparate groups within the Rainbow Coalition share little more than their desire to completely upend society's moral fabric. They don't share much in common between themselves, but that is a shared goal. And so they think of themselves as a fraternity. That's why they have a shared logo, a shared emblem, a shared set of objectives. They demand recognition, they demand acceptance. In fact, their slogan is toward 100% acceptance. In other words, if there is one single person in society who refuses to accept us, we will not rest until that person concedes, until that individual surrenders to our will. He or she has to accept us for who we are. And so that's a fraternity, that's a brotherhood. But notice how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the verse that I recited, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةً. Innama in the Arabic language denotes exclusivity. In other words, the only brotherhood is that of the believers. Al-mu'minun ikhwa, and they're the only brotherhood. Why does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say that? Despite the fact that we have all kinds of brotherhoods, as we explained, depending on how you identify yourself, depending on how you define your identity. What this means is that the only brotherhood, the only fraternity that receives divine backing and recognition and has legitimacy in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is what? The brotherhood that revolves around faith. The brotherhood that's grounded in belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His prophets, His messengers, and His values. This is the only true identity. Every other marker of identity that's not based on this or stems from it is not only worthless, but is detrimental to us. It's a seed that grows nothing but vitriol and hatred. In other words, my Arabic ethnicity or language or nationality is completely worthless unless it is grounded on and based on what? On my religious identity. Whether I'm an Arab, Persian, Turk, Khoja, it doesn't matter. It's all worthless. It's all worthless. And one of the great lessons that we learn from Ziyaratul Arba'een is exactly that. You've seen how every other marker, every other means of defining an identity is completely dissolved. When you make the walk, when you're on your pilgrimage towards Karbala, none of that matters. Whether you're rich or poor, whether you're Arab or non-Arab, nobody even asks you about that unless they're curious, unless they want to feel proud of the fact that we have so many different identities, all melting in this pot that we call Arba'een.